Today what we're going to talk about is how to train your dog to do something without using food in your hand, okay? So when I begin to train a new behaviour, I always do actually use food in my hand, okay? But this is something that I phase out really quickly so it doesn't become a bribe, okay? So when I first start to teach Betsy something, okay, now I know she knows it, but we're going to use it as an example. Okay. So I've got some sweeties in my hand here, and what we're going to do is to first start, we're just going to ask her to sit. Yes, good, that's nice. Okay, so I'm going to give her a sweetie and I'm going to ask her to sit. Yes, nice. Okay, and then I might ask something different. Down. Yes. Now you're going to notice, okay, that time when I asked her to lie down, okay, I didn't actually have food in my hand at the time. I just pretended to have food in my hand. So my lowry hand, I now had food in this hand, but the next thing that we do is we use treaty fingers, okay? So what we do is we pretend by going like this, okay, head, we pretend by going like this, okay, so we're pretending to get our treats out, okay, and then we ask our dog to do something. So go, sit, yes, and then we reward out our hand, okay. The next stage, once you've done that a couple of times, okay, is to actually move our treats is not to spill them on the floor. The next stage is to actually move our treats slightly more away from us, like to a close surface. So I'm going to put them underneath the camera, okay? So they're just literally on a surface underneath the camera. Boo, sit. They're in the surface underneath the camera, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend to get the treat again, and I'm going to go down in my other hand, okay? Yes, so not my initial treaty finger hand, but what's going to happen is each time I reward from the surface away from us, okay? So the next step up is to move the sweeties from a surface that is within the line of sight, okay? So the next thing to do is I'm going to put it on a higher surface away from Bets, actually slightly out the room, okay? So I'm going to leave the room a sec. Here, come. Here, come. Hand. Sit. Down. Yes, good. Well done! She still did the cue even though the treats weren't in the room, okay? I reward her when she comes back. I reward her every time she comes back, okay? So I reward her with food every 1 in 10 times, but when she comes back, that doesn't mean that she isn't getting rewarded. So I can also reward with something that she finds valuable. So like a game of tug, or throw a ball for her, or she gets to sniff something, or she can go for a swim, or some sort of life reward that's, you know, handy to me and she values as well, okay? So that's just a food for thought. So another concern about treat training as well is that people think that as force-free people, cookie pushers, we're going to end up with stupidly fat dogs all the time. Good, right. The answer to that is to make sure all the time, okay, any food your dog is getting, okay, make sure it's out of their daily allowance. So one of the big concerns about using treats in training is that, will my dog get fat? Okay, your dog will only get fat if you overfeed your dog, and that would happen anyway even if you were just feeding your dog normal meals. So what's the answer? I use Betsy's food allowance when I'm training, okay? So I take her breakfast, lunch and dinner out with me, okay? When we're on walks, when we're training, when we're out in public, okay? So I can have that opportunity to jackpot her or reward her for particularly great things that she does. That means that I'm not feeding her any extra to her normal rations, if you know what I mean, and she won't end up being like that, okay? So I personally choose to 75% hand feed. The reason I don't hand feed all of it is because I'm also aware sometimes dogs, they get hungry. They're like people. Sometimes they just want to sit down and have a relaxing meal, okay? I'm not saying that they want to do that all the time, but I think it's good for them, especially if they're really tired or it's first thing in the morning and they just have a relaxing meal. They don't need to do anything to earn it. They can just have it, get that energy really quickly and then start training, okay? So another thing is that it can make them a little bit more frustrated, a little bit more fractious if they're hungry, a bit like us, okay? If I'm hungry, I'm not going to concentrate, okay? If I'm hungry, I'm not going to take much learning in, and you want to make sure all of your dog's environmental needs are met, including hunger levels before you train, okay? I'm not saying give your dog a 3-course meal, but just make sure they're not starving before you train, okay? Good girl. Yay. Okay, so if you enjoyed that, okay, what I'm going to say to you, if you enjoyed that, give us a thumbs up, give us a comment, subscribe, share. If you could give us any constructive feedback, leave it in the comments below, okay, and see you around. Bye.